Okay, so moving on to the next passage here. So first, as we did in the previous passages, first what we are going to do, we are just going to read the passage in whole. Okay, so what they have told here, as per a survey conducted in a college, out of the total students enrolled, okay, 3000 in 2020-21 and 1700 were girls and 1300 were boys. Okay, so data regarding the students opting for various streams. So streams they have given are non-medical, then that is a medical, commerce, arts, fine arts are shown, and fine arts shown that 25% of the enrolled students opted for non-medical, and the percentage of girls in non-medical was 30% of the total number of girls. Okay, then 50% of the students opted for medical, and the percentage of girls who opted medical was 18% of the total number of girls. Okay, then 25% opted for arts. In that, the percentage of girls who opted for arts was 15% of the total number of girls. Okay, then 16% of the total students opted for commerce, and the percentage of girls who opted for commerce was 17% of the total number of girls. Okay, then fine arts it was 19%. In that, 20% girls were 20% of the total number of girls. Okay, so I think you have got a basic idea of what this passage basically says about. So it basically has how many streams they have. So we can just first write down the streams. So first stream was non-medical. Okay, so as we understood, we have a non-medical. Okay, then the other stream was medical. Okay, so the other stream was medical. Okay, then we had the third stream was commerce. Okay, third stream is commerce. Then we have arts. Okay, the last one was fine arts. Okay, so as we know, there is another division. So we have boys and girls. Okay, so here we can place it. So first data deals with the boys. Second data we can give it as girls. Okay, so in the first part they are told that total 3000 students are there. Out of that 1700 are girls. So 1700 are girls and 1300 are basically boys here. Okay, now just finding out the data one by one. So first was non-medical. Okay, in that 25% of the enrolled students opted for non-medical. Okay, so as we know, the total enrolled students are 3000 and 25% of 3000 is going to give us how much? 3000 are the total enrolled, and 25% basically means we're just cancelling out. 25 into 30 is 750. Okay, so as we understood that total non-medical students are how much? 750. Okay, so that we understood. Then what they are told, okay, and percentage of girls in the non-medical was 30% of the total number of girls. Okay, now the girls who opted for non-medical are 30% of total number of girls. So as we know, total number of girls was what? 1700, and 30% of that opted for non-medical. 30% of 1700 is what? 17 into 30, that is going to give us 510. Okay, so out of 750, 510 are girls. So difference of this has to give us the number of boys. Okay, so 750 minus 510 is what? That is going to give us 240. Okay, so we understood that we have out of 750 students who enroll for non-medical, 510 are girls and 240 are boys. Okay, so I hope that you are clear with this concept. Okay, now moving on to the next one. Now the next one, what they have told is that is now the second one is medical. Okay, now medical, what they are told, 15% of the students who opted for medical. Okay, but out of total students, 15% opted for medical. So total students are 3000 and 15% of that is what? So 15% of 3000 is going to give us 450. Okay, so total students who opted for medical here is 450. Now out of that, what they are told, Okay, 18 percentage. Okay, the girls who opted for medical was 18 percentage of the total number of girls. So total girls, as we have already did in the previous question, is 1700, and here we have to find, okay, 18 percentage of that. Okay, 18 percentage of 1700. So cancelling out the 100 and multiplying 18 and 17 is going to give us what? 18 into 17, we can just multiply it. 56. 8 plus 7 is 15. 15 plus 5 is going to give us 20. Okay, then 1 plus 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Okay, so 306 we have got here. Okay, so we understood that out of 450, 306 are girls. Then the remaining have to be boys. Okay, so 450 minus 306 is going to give us what? 144. Okay, because if it was 300, 150, just reduce 6 from that, is going to give us 144. Okay, now moving on to the commerce. Commerce, how many students are there? What they are told, 25% of the students opted for arts. Okay, next they have given arts. Okay. Okay, so next they have given arts. Okay, so 25% of the students have opted for arts. So as we looked in non-medical as well, 25% had opted. So this you can directly say that in case of arts, here the value is 750. Okay, now in case of arts, girls who opted are 15% of the total number of girls. Okay, so total girls, as we know, is 1700, and 15% of that is what? We're just cancelling out the 100. 17 into 15. Okay, it's going to give us what? 17 into 10 is 170. 17 into 5 is 85. We're just adding both these values. Okay, okay, it's going to give us 255. So out of 750, 255 are girls. So how many are remaining? If it was 250, the value here has to be 500. Since it is 5 less, the value has to be here 490. So we have got the data for arts as well. Now moving on to the next one, that is commerce. Okay, so they have already told that 16% of the total students had opted for commerce. So 3000 is the total number. In that, 16% is what? 16% of 3000 is how much? Yeah, 16% of 3000 is going to give us what? 480. Okay, so 480 is what we are going to get in case of commerce. Okay, now in that, what they have told, percentage of girls who opted for commerce is 17% of the total number of girls. Okay, so total girls is 1700, in that 17%. Okay, so just cancelling out 100, 17 into 79, I think you know it, it is 289. So we understood that out of 480 students who opted for commerce, 289 are girls. So boys has to be what? If it was 280, the value is here 200. Since it is 9 less, the value has to be 190. Okay, now the last one is the fine arts. So 19% of the students had opted for that. So out of 3000, 19%. Okay. So what are we going to get? So 19 into 30. 19 into 3 is 57. So that is 570. So total students who opted for fine arts is 570. Out of that, 20 percentage of the total now. Girls who opted for fine arts is 20% of the total number of girls. So girls is total is 1700. 20% of that is going to give us what? 340. So if 340 are girls, difference of this is going to give us 230. Okay. So like in the previous questions, we have got the data of what they have told. Now it's time for discussing the question part. Okay, so I hope that you got the data of every condition that they had given. Okay, yeah. Now moving on to the questions. The first question, how many girls have opted for non-medical? Okay, so simple question, non-medical girls. Non-medical girls is what? 510. Okay, so direct question, we can mark the answer as option D. Okay, now moving on to the next one. Next question, girls have outnumbered boys in fine arts. Okay. So how many girls in fine arts are more than boys as a percentage of total number of boys in fine arts? Okay. So they have told that girls have outnumbered boys in fine arts. So how many girls in fine arts are more than the boys? Okay. As a percentage of total number of boys in fine arts. Okay. So if we just going back to the data. Now in case of fine arts, as we see, boys are only 230 and girls were 340. Okay. Now just okay. So boys here are only 230. Okay. And girls were 340. Okay. So we can obviously see girls have outnumbered boys here. So they have to ask that how many girls in fine arts are more than boys. Okay. As a percentage of total number of boys. Okay. So how many are more? How many girls are more here? The difference of these two values is going to give us 110. So 110 girls are more. And they have told we have to compare it with the total number of boys in fine arts. The total boys in fine arts is what? 230. That is into 100. Okay. Just doing the calculation here. So 1100 divided by 23. So what is going to give us? That is going to give us 23 into 5, I think, is 150. So we have to go with 4 times. Just dividing it. Okay. So 4 times, I think, is going to give us what? 92. 5 times, no, it's not going to give us. So 4 times is what? 92. Okay. Now the remainder here will be what? 80. So 180 means how many times it is going to go? So 4 times. Okay. So 2 options are starting with 4. Now we can look for 23. Obviously it is not 9 times. Okay. It has to be 7 times. So option here will be option B, that is 47.82%. Okay. So this is also an easy question. Moving on to the next one. Yeah. So the next one, which of the following courses have been opted by maximum number of boys? Okay. So which course has been opted by the maximum boys? Okay. So we're just going to the data once again. Yeah. Okay. So in case of boys, maximum they have opted for is arts. Okay. So the direct question here as well. You can directly mark the answer as arts. Arts here. Okay. So option B is the right one. Arts will be the final answer. Okay. Now moving on to the next one. Okay. Now the reverse of this. Which of the following courses have been opted by minimum boys? So boys minimum they have opted for. Okay. Minimum situation they have opted for medical. So medical is the least number here. Okay. So now once again going to the question back. Okay, so medical is the answer for this question. Yeah. Okay. Moving on to the next one. So what is the ratio of boys and girls for non-medical? Okay. So non-medical boys and girls ratio. Okay. Okay. Boys and girls ratio for medical. So 144 is to, so we can just do it here itself. Okay. 144 is to boys to girls, I think was the ratio. 144 is to 306. So what is the common terms here? Any common terms? So you can see 3 is 9 is common in both the terms. Okay. So 144 by 9 is going to give us what? 9 ones are 9 6 are 54. 9 3s are 27 and 9 4s are is 36. Okay. 2 is common once again. So what we are getting is 8 is to 70. Okay. Just looking for the options there. Okay, so what we got is here that was 8 is to 70. Okay, so easy question. You can just easily get the values. Okay. Now moving on to the next one. Yeah, okay. So that was that for that passage. Okay, so easy passage. Okay, I hope that you got the or you understood that passage in a whole. Okay, now I think we can move to the next passage. So like in the previous set, first what we can do is just read the passage at once, okay, and then try for the questions, okay. So here what they are told, an Indian company having its registered office at Gurugram is engaged in manufacturing of consumer goods at Noida, okay. The goods manufactured by the company are sold in Indian market and exported to Europe, okay. So the company produces 5 products, namely PQRST. Okay. The total production of the company for the financial year 2021-22 is 3,000 tons. Okay. And the turnover of the company is 50 million. Okay. So 3,000 ton is the total production, but the turnover is 50 million. Okay. An analysis of the production and the net revenue generation shows that the production of product P is 21% of the total production and 18% of the turnover is attributable to production P. Okay. And production Q is 16% of the total population, so total production, and 17% of the turnover is attributable to Q. Likewise, R accounts for 18% of the total production and 20% of the turnover. Okay, and S accounts for 20% of the production and 25% of the turnover, and T 25% of the production and 20% of the turnover. Okay, so a bit more easier sort of a passage. I think you have understood that we have 5 products here, that is P, Q, R, S and T. So what they have given is, they have given 2 conditions here. The total production, the production of each products, okay, that they have given, and another thing that what they have given is turnover. So total turnover and total production they have given, and they have in the passage they have given a separate, okay, of the total production what accounts for product P, Q, R, S and T, and out of the total turnover what accounts from P, Q, R, S, T. So they have given a separate condition for everything. Okay, so we can just try with the questions here, okay, or the we can just find out the data first, okay. Now in the first case, as we can see, the total is 3,000 tons in case of production. Now out of that, in case of P, it is 21% of the total production. Okay, so as we can see, 3,000, 21% accounts for P. So 21% accounts for P. Okay, so if we are just finding it out, cancelling out the terms. So 30 into 21 is going to give us what? 630. So 630 tons is attributed to P. Okay, and what they are told in another condition, 18% of the turnover is attributed to product P. So turnover is 50 million. Okay, 50 million it is. So out of that, out of 50 million, they have told that 80%, 18% is attributed to whom? 80% is attributed to P. Okay, so what we can do, we can take it 50 million, okay, or I am taking it as 5,000. Okay, 50 million means how many zeros? So it is 50 million means, as you know, 1 million is how much? 10 lakhs. Okay, so 50 million will be okay, so it has to be 10 raised to 5 is 1 lakh, 10 raised to 6 is 10 lakh. So 10 lakh is 1 million. So 10 million has to be 10 raised to 7. Okay, but 10 raised to 7 it is. So what I am going to do is, I am just going to write it as 10 raised to 7 it is, 50 million it is. Okay, so I am going to write this as 10 into this, I have taken 3 zeros. So it has to be, total it has to be 7. So 10 raised to 4 into 18%. Okay, so I have made it as 5,000 into 10 raised to 4, okay, to make my calculation a bit more easier. Okay, so we are just finding it out, cancelling out the hundreds. So this is basically 18 into 50 into 10 raised to 4. So 18 into 5 has been is 90. So this will come as 900 into 10 raised to 4. Okay, we can write it as in that fashion itself, 900 into 10 raised to 4. Okay, hope that you are getting that. Okay, Now going for Q what they are told. Okay, the production of Q is 16% of the total. So 3000 is the total production in that 16%. So that is easy. That is going to give us 480. Okay. Now out of the total turnover, 17% is attributed to Q. The same concept, 5000 into 10 raised to 4 into how much the percentage was? 70. Okay, so cancelling out the hundreds, so 17 into 50 is going to give us 850. So 850 into 10 raised to 4. Okay, 850 into 10 raised to 4. Okay, so just write it a bit more bigger. Okay, so here it was 900 into 10 raised to 4. Here what we are getting is 850 into 10 raised to 4. Okay, now moving on to the R. R accounts for 18% of the total production. 3000 of 3000, 80%. Okay. So just doing the calculation once again. So 3000 is 18%. Okay, so 30 into 18. 18 into 3 is what? 54. That is 540. Okay. So 540 here we are getting. And out of the turnover it is 20%. So 5000 into 10 raised to 4. That value is 20%. Cancelling out the zeros. So 20 into 50. So 50 into 2 is 100. So 1000 into 10 raised to 4. 1000 into 10 raised to 4. Okay. Moving on to the S. S accounts for 20% of the production. So 20% of 3000 is going to give us what? 600. Okay. So you can write it directly. 600. Now its turnover is 25%. So 5000 into 10 raised to 4. 25% of it. 100 cancel. 25 into 5 is 125. So 1250 into 10 raised to 4. Okay. Now the last one, that is T. T is basically productions, total productions 25%. So 3000's 25%. 25% as we know is 1/4 of any value. No? So cancelling it out, 4 sevens are is 28. Then we are having 2. So 4 5s are 4 750. So 750 is what we are going to get in case of T. Now the turnover is 20%. So 5000. Okay, 20% already we have found out in some question. Okay, so that has to be 1000 into 10 raised to 4. Okay, so we have got all the datas. Okay, so easier question, but only the data are 50 million and 3000 tons. So that is of no worry. Okay, you can easily convert that into a value which is comfortable for you, and then do the calculation part. Okay, so hope that you got it. Now I think we can move to the question part. Okay. Yeah. So first question what they have told is, what is the percentage of profit earned from sale R? Okay. If the expenditure incurred on the production of R is 15,000 per ton. Okay, so we have to find the percentage of profit earned from sale R. Okay, they have given that expense per ton is how much, on R is how much, 15,000 ton. Okay, so we're just moving to the data here. Now in case of R, we know the total production was how much, 540 tons, and the turnover they got is 1000 into 10 raised to 4. Okay, so just yeah. Okay, so the total production was 540 tons, and the turnover was, turnover in case of R, in case of R it was 1000 into 10 raised to 4. Okay, 1000 into 10 raised to 4. Okay, so basically it is how much, 1000 into 10 raised to 4 means 10 raised to 7. That means it is how much? 10 raised to 7 will be 1 lakh 6. Okay, 10 million basically. Okay. Yeah. Now they have told that the expense is how much? Expense is 15,000 per ton. So the total production is 540 tons. So if 1 ton is costing 15,000, total will be 540 into 15,000. Okay. Let us just multiply these values. 54 into 15 is going to give us what? 20, 25, 29, 31. Okay. So 5 plus 3 is going to give us 8. Okay. So 810. 810. Then how many zeros are already here there? 4. 4. So 4 means we can write it as 81 into 10 raised to 5 basically. Okay. So 81 into 10 raised to 5 is what we can write it. The total turnover is how much? 1000 into 10 raised to 4. So what they have told, what is the percentage of profit? Okay. So that means total expense is this much and the turnover they got is this much. So what is the percentage of profit is what they have asked here. Okay. So what we can do is just find it out how much it will come. So profit means the difference. Okay, what is the turnover and what is the spend? So profit will be the difference of these two values. Okay, so what you are going to get for this? This is basically, as we said, okay, the values are a bit challenging here. Okay, but we can do it. Okay, so what we can do is we can just write it as this value as 810 into 10 raised to 4. Okay, so the 10 raised to 4 will be common there. So that will make our calculation a bit more easier. So taking the difference of these two values is going to give us what? 190 into 10 raised to 4. So 190 into 10 raised to 4 is the difference. So this is the profit. We have to find the percentage. Okay. So we have to divide it by what? We have to divide percentage of profit earned from sale are. Okay. So profit basically, what is the total spend? Okay, that determines the condition. Okay, so they have spent it how much? 810 into 10 raised to 4 into 100. Okay, just calculating it. 10 raised to 4 is common, 10 is common, so 1900 by 81. Now just calculating this. So 81 2 times is going to get us 162. So the difference will be 162. If it was 160, we are going to get 30 as a difference. So 28, 280 we are going to get 280. So 81 it is. So it has to be 3 times. Okay. So the option starting with 23 is only option B. That is 23.46%. Okay. So I hope that you got the solution of this question. Okay. Yeah. Moving on to the next one. Okay, so here they have asked what product has the highest selling price per ton. So per ton, which has the highest selling price. Okay, so that means which has been sent at the highest. Okay, so if you're just going back, so they have given the options as QRST. So P we don't need to look, just concentrate QRST. Okay, so highest selling price. Now if you just go into the data, okay, so we have to just look for QRSTP, they haven't given at all. So how we are going to get the highest selling price per ton? So per ton which has the highest selling price. Okay, if we are just looking for the values from R and D, we can understand that R has the highest selling price. Okay, selling price means what? The cost price means what the production cost is basically what we have spent. Okay, selling price means at what we have sold it. Okay, yeah. So if you're just seeing it if you're comparing R and T, since their turnover is the same. Okay, so we have spend the total production for R is 540, for T is it is 750. So from R we are going to get the maximum in this. If we are comparing R and T, now if you are comparing Q, it is 850, 480, S it is 600 and 1250. So obviously our answer has to be S. So S has the maximum selling price here. Okay. So the answer here is yes. Okay. Moving on to the next question here. What they have told here, how much loss is incurred to the company if the expenditure on production of tea was 20,000 per ton. Okay, so we have to find the loss here. If the production on tea was 20,000 per ton. Okay, now if we just going back to the data to find the values of tea. So tea, as we know, total production is 750. Now in that turnover is 1000 into 10 raised to 4. Okay, so 750 and 1000 into 10 raised to 4. Okay, so 750 into per ton, they have told that the cost was 20,000. Our turnover was 1000 into 10 raised to 4. Okay, now if we just calculating it, so 75 into 2 is 150. We have to make it 10 raised to 4. Okay, so we have to place another 0 into 10 raised to 4. Okay, so as we can see, the total production's cost is 1500 into 10 raised to 4 and the turnover is only 1000 into 10 raised to 4. So we have we just comparing these values, we have a loss of how much million? 500 is the difference here. So 500 into 10 raised to 4, that basically means it is 5 million. Okay, so the loss here is 5 million. Okay, hope that you got this question as well. Moving to the next one. Okay, what is the percentage of turnover of R has to the turnover of T? Okay, so we have to compare R and T's turnover. Okay, just easy question, R and T. Okay, going to the data, R and T, turnover basically. Okay, so both the turnovers are same. So the answer has to be what? The values are same. Then the answer has to be 100%. Okay, easy question. Okay. Now, next one. Okay, what is the average selling price per ton of all the products taken together? Okay, so they have asked for the average selling price, okay, per ton of all the products taken together. Okay, so you have to find the average selling price per ton. Okay, so selling price means basically what? We have to just take the average of all the values. Okay, so okay, now moving to the data once again. Okay, so what we have to do here is okay, so total production was 3000 tons, okay, and the turnover is 50 million. Okay, so what they have asked is the average turnover. Okay, so how you can find it out? Just take the average of the turnovers, okay, to get the exact value. So we have to just add these values and get the selling price here. Okay. Okay, so that is a homework question for you. Okay, so you can just do it. Just add the values and just take the average. Okay, so this is a homework question. Yeah. Okay. Now moving on to the next set. Okay. Now we are moving on to the next set. Okay. So like in the previous cases, what we are going to do is first going to read the passage and then going to just connect the data which they have given. Okay. Now if you're just reading it, what they have given is, in an organization, the total number of employees working in various departments, the departments they have given as IT, marketing, purchase, HR, accounts and production are 4500. The information regarding the department wise percentage of employees was collected, and also record about the gender ratio of employees was prepared. Okay. Then they have given the data. 18% of the total number of employees work in IT, and the number of males and females in IT department is 2:1. Likewise, they have given in marketing the ratio is 2:3, and the number of employees engaged in marketing is 20% of the total employment. Okay, then 12% of total workers are running in HR, and their ratio is 5:1. Then the fraction or the ratio of male and female in production is 3:2, and total persons who are employed is 15% of the total workforce. Then purchase department and account departments, the percentage is 24 and 11, and the total number of workers. Okay, the gender ratio in the purchase department and accounts department as well they have given. Okay, so basically what we are going to do is we have basically how many departments here. So first we are going to just write down the department. So we have an IT department, then we have marketing department. Okay, and the next department we are having is purchase department. Okay, so purchase is also we are having. Okay, then we are having HR department. Okay, HR we are having. Then we are having accounts and production. Okay, so accounts, I think we can write it here. Accounts. Okay, production. Okay, so these many are the departments which are having here. In this we have a male and female number of employees, so that is also being given here. Okay, so we can try to find it out. So we know total employees are 4,500 in total. Now first, if you are just looking for the IT department, it has been said that it is 18% of the total employees. So total employees, as we know, is 4,500, and 18% of that is going to give us what? Cancelling out the hundreds, 45 into 8. Okay, just multiplying the values, what we are going to get is 40. 8 fours are 32 plus 5 is going to give us 37, plus 4 is going to give us 41. Okay, and 8. So basically it is 810. Okay, so it is 810. Okay, so we understood that total employees in IT department is what? IT department, it is 810. Now in this male and female we have to now find that out. So 810 is the total employees in the IT department. Now the male to female ratio in IT department is what? 2:1. Okay, so we can say a male to female. So that is 2/3 of 810 has to give us the number of male. Okay, so we just cancelling it out. 3 2s are 6, 270. So males is 540. Okay, and female has to be 1/3 of 810. Okay, so by 3 is going to give us what? 8 2s are. So by 3 is going to give us 270. Okay, so we understood that total females in IT is 270. Okay. Yeah. Now moving on to the next one. Now they have given the marketing scenario. So marketing, they have given the ratio of male to female is 2:3, and the number of employees engaged in marketing is 20% of the total employed. Okay, so 4,500 is the total. Out in that 20%, I hope you got it. That is 900. Okay, so purchase, we understood that total are 900 employees. Now in that, what was the ratio that they are given? The ratio is 2:3. Okay, so we can easily find out. That is 2/5 of 900 has to be the number of male employees. Okay, just cancelling it out, we are going to get here male as 360. To find the female, you can just take the difference of 900 and 360 as well. Otherwise, go for the fraction scenario. Okay, anyhow you can find it out. Okay, so 3/5 of this is going to give us 540. Okay, so we have found the data for the marketing as well. Now moving on to the next one, that is the HR. So HR, 12% of the total number of workers are running in HR. Okay, they have given here it is. Okay, and the ratio is 5:1. Okay, so 12% of total. Okay, that is 4,500 is the total. 12% of that is what? 10% is 450. 1% is 45. So 450 plus 90, that is going to give us 540. Okay, so total employees in HR is how much? 540. Okay. Now the ratio there is 5:1. Male is to female is 5:1. So if we are just finding for male, 5/6 of 540. Okay. So that is going to give us how much? 450. Okay. So out of 540 employees, 450 are male. So obviously remaining 90 have to be what? Female. Okay. So that is also set now. Now in production department, the ratio of male to female is 3:2. And the number of persons employed in this department is 15% of the total workforce. So that is 15% of 450. Sorry, 4,500. So cancelling out the hundreds, 45 into 50. So what we are going to get is 45 into 15 is going to give us what? Just adding it out, 576, 675. Okay, so 675 is the total employees in the production department. Okay, in that the ratio of male to female is what they have given it as. They have given it as 3:2. Okay, so we can find it out. So 3/5 of, we can say like this, since the ratio here is okay. Since the ratio is 3:2, we have to find it out for 3/5 of how much? 675. Okay, just cancelling it out with 5, what we are going to get? So 1 times 3 times is 15 and 5. 135 into 3. So that is going to give us how much? 405. Okay, 405. So 405 here is from males. Then the remaining is how much? If it was 400, female has to be 275. Since it is 5 less, then 270 have to be the female employees. Okay, hope that you got this as well. Now moving on to the next two departments, that is purchase and accounts. So purchase, they have told that the total employees 24% are from purchase. So total employees, as we know, is 4,500. In that value, 24%. Okay, so we can just find it out. 24% of 4,500. So cancelling out the 100, 45 into 24 is going to give us what? 45 into 24, 20, 10, 26, 28, 8, 10. So 1080. So total employees in purchase is how much? 1080. Now in that, male and female is okay. So in case of purchase, see, it is 1:1. So that means it has to be half. So half of 1080 is what? 540. And here as well it is 540. Okay. Now we are only left with accounts. So accounts is how much? 11%. Okay. So next we are going to deal with the accounts department. So as we know, it is 11% of total. So total, as we know, is 4,500. And 11% of that value is going to give us what? 45 into 11, that is going to give us 495. So from accounts, the total employees are 495 and the ratio is 1:2. Okay, so if we are just finding out the male part, 1/3 of 495. Okay, so if we are just cancelling it out, 1 times 3 5s are is 15, 4. 1 times 19. Okay, 3 6 are is 18. So 165 is 1 ratio. Okay, so 165 is 1 ratio. So 2/3 is the female. So 165 into 2. That is going to give us 330. Okay, so I hope that it is right. 1/3 it is. Okay, just a second. 1/3 of 1/3 of 490. Okay. So 1 times 3 6 are is 18. So 165. Okay. So here we are getting 165. So 495 minus 165. We're just reducing it. So here the value has to be 330. Okay, so this is right. So what we have done, we have got all the values. Okay, we have got all the values now. Now what we can do is we can just try and solve the questions. Okay, so what we can do now is we can just solve the questions which are related to this. Okay. Okay. Now first question they have asked is how many females are employed in purchase department? Okay, a direct question. So purchase department female. Okay. Purchase department female. Okay, it was 540. So direct question. You can easily mark the answer as 540. Okay. Now moving on to the next one. Here, how many employees are working in IT and accounts department together? Total employees in IT and accounts. Some. Okay. So IT and accounts. So accounts it is 495. IT it is 809. Okay. So sum of both these values. So 800 plus 400 is going to give us 1200. 95 plus 10 is going to give us 105. So that is going to make the value as 1300. Okay. So 1305. Okay. So that is there in the option. So the answer of this question is option D, that is 130. Okay. Moving on to the next one. Okay. What is the ratio of number of males to the number of females working in all the departments together? Okay. So male to female, we have to find it out for all the departments and then take the ratio. Okay. So we can just find it out. Okay. So males first, if you are adding all the male part, what you are going to get here, we have 165. Here it is 540, here it is 360, and another 540, 450 and 405. Okay. So first what you can do is just add it. Okay. So if you are adding the male part, so we have two 540s. First go for the anyhow you can add. What I am going to do is I am going first targeting the 100 part. Okay. So here we have 100, then 500 is 600, 900, then 1400, 1800, 2200. Okay. So we have got the 100 part as 2200. Now go for the tens part. So here we have 60, 40, 100, 160, 200, 250. Okay. 250. Now the ones part we have 5 here and another 5 here. So we have 10 into it. Okay. We're just adding it 0, 6, 4. So 2460 is the number of males. Okay. So we have got the number of males. Okay, as 2460. Okay, now the female has to be what? We know total employees are 4500. In that, if males are 2460, female has to be the difference of. Okay. So 4500 minus 2460. Okay. Just taking the difference here. So that is going to give us 1940. Okay. Okay. Sorry, this 2040. Okay. Right. So females are 2040. Okay, so this corresponds to 4005. Okay. Now taking the ratios, let's cancel off the terms. 6 is common in both the terms, so cancel it with 6. 6 4s are is 24, 6 1s are is 6, 6 3s are is 18, 6 4s are is 20. Okay, so we are getting the ratio as option C, that is 41 is to 20. Okay, I hope that you got this as well. Okay. Now moving on to the next question. The number of females in marketing department forms what percentage of total number of employees in the organization. Okay. So, females in marketing department is forms total number of employees in the organization. So, as you can see, marketing, we have to find females. So, females in marketing. So, females in marketing is what, 540. We have to compare it with the total employees. Okay. So, 540 has to be compared with, yeah. So, 540 has to be compared with total employees in the organization, means the total number of employees, that as we know is 4005 into 100. Cancelling of the hundreds. Now in 540 and 45 we have 9 as common, so cancel out with 9. 9 5s are is 45, 9 6 are is 50. So what we are getting is 60. 60 by 5 is what? 12%. Okay. So the answer for this question is option C, that is 12%. Okay. Okay. Now next question, what is the ratio of males in marketing to the males in HR? So marketing and HR males. Okay. Okay. So marketing and HR males. Okay. So here marketing it is 5 for males, 360. Here it is 450. Okay. So 360 and 450. Okay. Okay. So 360 and 450. Okay. 10 is common, 9 is common in both the terms. Okay. Answer here has to be 4 is to. Okay. So option A. Okay. So option A is the right answer here. 4 is to. Okay.